record to the cloud. If any of the co-hosts are on there, you might have to accept or say, yeah, I know, or whatever.
Got it.
Got it.
And other than that, so let's go live on Facebook.
That's so cute.
How are you feeling, Jan?
Much better. Much better.
Good.
Thank you. Yes, lots of doctor's appointments and new drugs.
Okay, we're going live on Facebook, you guys.
Nice.
Share.
Hi, Hannah.
No. Share. Wait a minute. Let's see. I need to be on the right page though. No. Okay, select page, Upper Midwest Bead Society. Go live.
The wind.
Sorry. So be going live here momentarily. So everybody smile. Welcome everybody to our Let's Bead Live Saturday with the Upper Midwest Bead Society. I'm going to, I'm Rochelle J. Let's just spotlight for everybody. I'm Rochelle J. from Bobby Bead and the Upper Midwest Bead Society. Welcome. We have wonderful events for you today. And see, let's find our, there we go, add spotlight. So we today have Madison Holler of Rubinski Works with us. And we have Barbara Ellis of Beaded Treasures by Barbara. And so we're so excited. Welcome everybody. So if you could mute yourselves who are Zooming with us for a moment, so that way we can, Maddie, what are you going to talk to us about today? A quick little brief to give people excited.
Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about photographing your beadwork or jewelry, and then how to catalog properly, and then use those photographs to advertise on social media and your website. So I'm going to just do a really entry level, assuming we know very little. So some of it might be really rudimentary information, but we're just going to start from the bottom and work our way up. And hopefully everybody can walk away with a few tips on how to do photography and social media. Yeah.
Super. And so that'll be from 1 to 2 today. And then from 2 to 3, we have Barbara Ellis. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we've got coming up from you today?
Okay, so I am Barbara Ellis with Beaded Treasures by Barbara, and I will showcase some of my kits that I have available and showing you pictures of some of the pretty pieces that are involved in those different kits. And then I'm going to continue on from what we did last week with all the Raku pieces. And I have several of those treasures as well to choose from, and we'll be selling them by the piece or with the kit. You will make your decision, and it'll be all purchased through my email. So we'll announce that when we get to me, and we'll go from there.
Sounds super great. Well, we look forward to for all of that fun as well. So I can't wait. As our Upper Midwest Bead Society, we do have a couple things going on. So let's find Hannah. Do you want to give us a brief little update on the fundraiser we got going on? Hold on, let me just add you here.
we have a wonderful little fundraiser going on our page, our Upper Midwest Bead Society Facebook page, and I will drop that link into both the chat and to the Facebook live so that you can see it. We have a bunch of books, we have some wonderful kits, we have some absolutely gorgeous jewelry, we have some beads. I know I'm forgetting some wonderful things there, but you should go check that out, and I'll drop that link once again into both the chat of the Zoom and also into the Facebook.
Super. So
Oh, and it goes on until the 22nd.
oh, perfect. And that's on the Upper Midwest Bead Society Facebook page. And so speaking of Upper Midwest Bead Society, if you want to join our Bead Society, it's only $35 a year. The Let's Bead Live Saturdays are free to everyone, but it's just a taste of what we do in our Bead Society. And we have our holiday party for December coming up, and we are going to be doing a class with Kim Leahy. It's a wonderful ginkgo leaf pendant. And it's this fun. I've made it into a ring and I've made it into a fringe earring, but it's this wonderful charm component. You could probably use it as a holiday ornament as well. And so if you want to join the group, this is our December meeting happening December 5th. It's the first Monday of every month. We have our private member only meetings. It's only $35 a year. And so join whenever you can, and it lasts throughout the whole year from date to date. So we look forward to joining new members. And if you are a member, go to the website and download your patterns and get your supplies for the Monday, December 5th meeting. And then also we have coming up for next Saturday, Let's Bead Live. There we go. Lisa Dooley will be one of the teachers for December's Let's Bead Live. What have you got coming up for us next month?
So I have these Amani earrings, and I will show them to you. Let me just reverse the camera. So these are the earrings, and they use the Amani symbol bead as the earring post, and they have ginkgos and some crystals in there, and I am selling the kits, and the kits have 2 pairs, enough supplies to make 2 pairs of earrings. So you have the white hematite is here, so that's a pink mist backlit ginkgo with the white. And then I have it in the golden green color with the backlit again. And then the silver blue pair. And the fun thing about these is if you don't like to wear earring posts or you don't have these, you can either, for supplies, you can either go to Bobby Bead or you can go to my shop, which I've put in a link to it in the chats. But you can also use kidney ear wires. And the bonus about these is you can either wear them with the backlit pink mist showing or reverse them and have a silver pair of earrings. So if you wanted to travel, only have 1 pair of earrings, you can make those too. And like I said, so each kit contains enough supplies to make 2 pairs of the earrings that are showing. So that's it. Hope you can join us on Saturday the 10th.
You got plenty of time to make all your get all your supplies for then. And so
And they do make great stocking stuffers too.
oh yeah, absolutely. Or just make a whole bunch of them and hang them all over your tree.
There you go. That works too.
So super. So we've got Madison Holler from Rabinski Works. So take it away, Maddie.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm not sure I've met all of you, so I'll do a really short little intro. I'm Maddie Holler. I operate Rubinski Works, which is my jewelry business. And in the past, I had been a photographer. I still do my own photography, obviously, and some other creative small business jobs, but I was a wedding photographer for 7 seasons. And prior to that, I was a graphic designer for a university and then a few marketing agencies and social media management firms in my town. So I have sort of a unique career background to give this class. And so Rochelle said, will you teach us about photography and social media? And I was like, sure will. So that's how we got here. Like I said before, these are going to be like very rudimentary basics. I'm starting from the bottom, working up. I'm sort of going to assume that we know very little and are just starting out. And I also want to say, like, take what you like and leave the rest. Like, I do it my way, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do everything. But the beauty of social media is that not everybody's page looks the same, right? So what I might find aesthetically pleasing might not be what you find. And I'm hoping to just give tips on like the actual brass tacks of it and not too much about like what I find aesthetically the best, because I think that some people here might do things differently than I would do. And there might be a little bit of overlap, but it shouldn't all be the same anyway. So I'm going to start off with photography and then move into how to store your photos properly and then how to use those photos for marketing and social media. So starting out with photography, I want to, again, assume that you either have a camera and you know how to use it properly, all the settings, that you have a camera and you're just going to be using it on automatic for now, like just getting started, or that you're using your phone, which all three of those are totally acceptable. I know people who do it all 3 ways and produce absolutely beautiful images. I would say that using like an actual camera is obviously going to give you a more archival quality with high resolution, but the phones are really catching up. Like we're getting to a point in which the phones are surpassing most of our like DSLR style cameras. The megapixels of a phone are just a little bit below something like this, but there are some phones that are already surpassing other DSLRs. So all of those options are totally acceptable, and just use the assets that you have. I'm a big advocate for using what you have around you and not buying the fanciest schmanciest thing just to get a job done. So any 3 of those uses. I'm not going to go into the settings of a camera. Again, I assume that you know how to set the shutter speed and aperture and white balance and all those things from the get-go, or you're using your phone or something that is automatically using settings for you. So with photography, I do almost completely natural light. I sat next to the window that I usually shoot in front of, and that's why I keep glowing because it's the best natural light in my house. And I have always advertised as a natural light photographer. I, again, personally don't love using flash or much light assistance, but I will go over the ways in which I would use lights when shooting something in like a white box setting. And so for me, I usually shoot in front of this nice natural light window. And I mean, it's pretty lowbrow over here. I do most of it on this white wood plank. This is what I'm shooting most of my photos on, or I'm using something with like, again, these are just planks of pine that I got at Home Depot. And so just to give like little small textured backgrounds, I also have some photo backdrops from Savage, which is like rolls of paper with a light stand. That's what I use sometimes in the backgrounds for my models. But other than those, I go outside, or I take it here on this wood table or on a white wood plank. I like to have a lot of textures mixed in so that it's not all just white image with a piece of jewelry for my social media when I'm sharing. So I like mixing it up a little bit. I'll get to that later about how I like to arrange my feed. But just again, for me personally, I like showing it on the models. I like showing flat lays. I like having a range of images to look at so that it doesn't get too repetitive. Although you'll hear me use the word consistency like 20 more times in this presentation. Consistency is absolutely key, but when I say that, I don't mean exactly the same every time, repetitious. I think people sometimes want to stick to one mode, and I think mixing it up and having something interesting to look at really behooves you, especially with social media. When we see just flat lays over and over and over, just an image of a single piece of jewelry, sometimes people crave seeing it being worn or on a different texture. So that's how I do it. Take what you will or don't. And I know a lot of people prefer to do lighting. So I'm going to get into the lighting now, which I don't use a ton of, but the general rule of thumb for lighting is that you want 2 light sources impacting your piece. If you use something like a diffused white box, you can get those on, some people call them like a photography cube. It's like a sort of sheer white material that is a box. It's a photography box. It folds down really nice, but you pop it up, and some people use the lights on either side because it diffuses inwards, and some people choose not to use a box and would just like maybe have, you know, a white plank in the front and the back. So some people might set it up like this. So it just looks like a white wall, and you would somehow have the jewelry sitting or on a stand. And when you do it that way, you would want a 45-degree angle for both of your lights. If you have no natural light source or choose not to use natural light source, you want 2 45-degree angles. So if I'm the camera and you're the object or subject I'm trying to photograph, I would put one right here and one right here and point it at it. And that's the way you get no shadows. With one light source, you would see the shadow bouncing on the background. So 45-degree angle pointing in is how you get that like perfect white gallery style photo. Another option is if you don't have the lighting, if you don't have the assist lights, some people will take images as best they can and go into Photoshop and cut out the image and implant it over a white backdrop. That's totally an acceptable way. I personally don't like doing the work of cutting out every single image, so I try to like get it with just the image, the photo that I'm taking, without having to do too much of that editing in post, because it takes up a little bit of your time. There are websites that do it for you for like 50 cents an image. It's incredibly cheap. If that is a route you want to go, and if you don't have Photoshop, you can send your images. There's a website called Fiverr. It's spelled Fiver. You send them the image and you find a artist on there that is versed in Photoshop, and they can cut it out and put it on a white backdrop for you really cheap. So if Photoshop isn't something you're into or willing to learn, that's definitely a good option also. So going back to the natural light, I prefer the natural light for a few reasons. One, I find it the easiest, and when you're producing a lot of work, using like, again, the assets that you have available to you that are like quick and easy. I just set it up here and it always looks the same. And I know how to edit perfectly with the natural light that I've been using. But B, I find that the finish and the tone and the color of the beads is more realistic in natural light. When using a light assist, sometimes a lot of us use things, the silk satins and, you know, the coated beads, that the light sometimes can affect that. It's just like anything with an iridescence or a sort of like mirror quality to it. You'll see the light more than you will see the color, whereas using natural light that has been diffused, like through the window here, I do it like when it's in the shadow. I wouldn't do it in the direct sunlight. I would put it into a shadow spot so that it has a diffusion over it, so that the light isn't actually bouncing off of it. And at times I do move it right into the light and shoot at an angle so that I can see the sheen that I want to capture, but it seems like natural light depicts those sheens a little more realistically than light assist, like a static dome light that you would use. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the natural light versus the light assist. Does anyone have any questions about that? I also love questions. I didn't say that in the beginning, but absolutely, like, raise your hand or peep in with questions. I want to answer as we go.
I
Yeah.
have one question. What about like the lights that are natural spectrum? Do those
Oh,
work?
yes. So I have this light, and this was the one I was going to say. I use this not as my primary light source. I think you probably could use it as your primary light source, but I use it as an assist. So say my light coming in from outside is a little cool. Like if it's a really gloomy, dark day, it might be a little cooler. Like today, obviously the sun's shining right at me. It's going to be very warm with no cloud diffusion over the light. So I sometimes I'm like, I need a little warm. I need a little cool. I have this canvas light. I use this for any time lapses because it's like the longest arm available as far as these lights go. I did a bunch of research and found this brand. It's like a wife and husband, and I think they're in Massachusetts, but it's called Canvas, but you can use anything you want. This one's cool because it has a phone holder. And so you clip your phone in, and then there's a hole right here. And so you can take a photo, but it also has the temperature on it. So just like an light that you can adjust the temperature, this one might be, I'm wondering if you can even see, because so I just made it warmer, and I made it cooler, and I made it brighter, and it changes. And so I will use it for an assist. Like if I just need a little bit extra coming in on a side, I absolutely will use something like that. And it doesn't affect the piece or do that sort of like light bouncing thing the way like an actual like studio light would do. And if you do use a studio light, ways to avoid those light glares, I guess I would call them, on the piece would be to get a diffused box over any light. So when shopping for studio lights or photography lights, sometimes it's just a bulb, and that would be like what I mean by the really stark lighting. But you can get like diffusion boxes over them, which is like a sort of like semi-sheer white diffusion over the light, and that would help a lot with the bouncing of the light also. Did that answer your question? Okay.
What was the name, the manufacturer of that light?
This one's Canvas. I think it says right here, Canvas. It's spelled like the canvas of a that
Yeah.
you put painting on. Yeah. And
Thank you.
these are really nice. They I'll pull it over a little bit. They like swivel this way, or you can lock it. It's incredibly tall. You could paint I think like a 16 by 20 painting, and it will be able to be seen by your if you have your phone plugged into it. Yeah, really nice. And this swivels, so there's no way you can not get a perfectly balanced or like even image. You can swivel it so many different ways. They have ones where you can like magnetize your phone if you don't want to use the little clip. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not sponsored by these people. I probably should be because I talk about it a lot, but yeah, it's a good company. And even the whole base swivels. It's kind of nice. And it's really weighted, so no matter how tall you put it, it works really nice. And it has 4 different temperature settings, and goes the dimming effect up and down. Yeah. Any other questions so far? Nope. Okay, I'll move on. Okay. So I guess the last thing I'll say about the style of the photos you're doing, I talked a lot about like the white backdrop. I know that a lot of people, when they think of making like an archival quality image to use for portfolio and things like that, we think of a white backdrop. That's like the standard of like, a gallery setting, the white box. And that I think is great. I try to take photos of all my things on white. But then, like I said before, I also do different textures and mix it up, because this is ultimately the final form of your art, right? This is the thing that will last. The thing, your piece will sell, or you will move on to other things. And this is the last thing that you will have to hold on to of the piece you've made. So you want it to feel like you. You want it to, if you want it to sort of like speak to the art that you've made, finding ways that feel right to you, like collaging them on something, or doing a model shoot with a little more styling to it. Like that's absolutely acceptable. I just don't want anyone to think I I think the only way to photograph them is on a white backdrop, because I absolutely don't. I want everyone to do what's right. And again, that will make it funner on social media. It will feel like you, and it will be really authentic. You'll be able to see it, like your hand in the piece. If we all took the exact same photo of our art, it would get a little monotonous and boring. So definitely get creative, play with textures and things. Yeah, however it feels right to you. And then the last thing, editing the photos. I use Lightroom on my computer because I'm shooting like with a full DSLR. And so Lightroom through Adobe is the app or the function that I use on my computer. But sometimes I take photos on my phone, like if I'm on the go or for whatever reason, I take photos on my phone and I use an app called VSCO. That's my favorite phone editing app. There is a Lightroom app for the phone, and I still prefer VSCO. So that I just wanted to share that in case anybody wants an on their phone app to edit easily. I know there are functions within Instagram and wherever you might be posting, like TikToks even, we haven't really touched much on video, but obviously video is like the future of TikTok and Instagram too. So I can touch a little bit on producing videos also. Again, I try to make them fun and engaging. Sometimes I do just a blank backdrop because the piece might be a little complex and I want it to be really easily readable. And for those, I typically will hang from a piece of string and spin them just so there's some movement, because a video sort of invites movement. It would be a little simple to just like have a video of a static object. So I'll spin them against a flat backdrop, so they're really easy to read. But sometimes I hang them in a tree, or I'll do other little fun things to give it a little texture and a little intrigue. But I know that the on the phone apps have editing processes, which are totally fine too. Even in your photos on iPhone or Android, there are ways to edit within there. And iMovie is a really easy way to edit videos on your phone also. So those are all totally acceptable, but VSCO is the app that I use.
Hey, Maddie, do you have one of those videos like at hand where you could show of your spinning thingy?
And
Yes.
did you say, what's it, Vesco?
Yeah, it's spelled VSCO. So yeah, Visco, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it. I have it. Let me see here. This is the website. I pulled it up for you. So VSCO, it's free. You can pay more to get more filters and effects, but you can edit like reels on there. You can edit, it just has like nice, really simple filters that work, in my opinion, really well. So it's just one of my favorite apps. Yep. So VSCO, there's that a little bit. And I'll show you the video. So I'll go to my reels. So like this one, I don't know if it's gonna be loud. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear. Oh no, you can't hear the sound. Okay, good. So this is the way I would show a spinning of mostly my tassel pairs, just so you can see that there's multiple sides to it. And a few of mine are like convertible. You can wear them one way or another, or like those, they spin from the stem. Yeah, that first pair is the one that you can wear multiple ways. So two-sided. And those are all against just a flat backdrop. I don't, the earrings are kind of busy enough. So I personally just didn't think it needed, if I did it outside, it might distract from the pair. So I do that against a black backdrop, and all those backdrops would have been those Savage backdrops. But that being said, there are really like much more affordable options for backdrops. I sometimes will just, I don't know what this is called, particle board, or you can get it at like Michael's or an Office Depot, like white and black. I sometimes use them to bounce light. So say I'm in a room like this, where obviously one side of my face is much lighter, but I go like this and look how much I lit up. Like it just a white board off of the frame lights you up so evenly. So if you're shooting with natural light and you're like, I've got crazy shadows on this one side, you don't need a big fancy light. Like this the light is bouncing off of this and hitting me. And then I take it away and look how dark I am again. So that's an easy way to do it. Sometimes darkening too, if you're like, oh, I want it really moody. Okay, then just block the light out. So there's different ways you can use it. There's also This was like $15 on Amazon, and whoops, I hit myself in the face. This is a like actual reflector, so like, ooh, yeah, really bright. So if you really need light assist, sometimes I'll use this outside with a model, but you got to hold it like pretty far away because it's really going to light you up. If you're lighting up, a table up, like it just looks like I'm illuminating a light, but I'm just holding a reflector up. And then this one comes with 3 different styles. The thing I shared before, how it's like almost a clear piece of white. This is a diffusion one. So if the light's really bright, this will diffuse the light. So the table right now has like actual sunlight shining on it. And if I didn't want that, I would use this diffuser. Show you. So it turns it from bright, like streaks of light coming in to like really nice, even light. And I could take a beautiful photo right here with no light assist. If someone would hold this for you, you can find a clamp to hold it in some way. That's the best tool for that. And this one comes with 2 temperatures. So once you have the form in it, it is sturdy again, but it comes with the silver and the gold. So if you want to warm up the side of someone's face, the gold can help you do that. I don't remember what the original question was now, but did I answer it? Okay. Yeah, I think that's oh, and I guess I could share just what I meant by something that has a natural background. This one, in my opinion, was a little busy. So this is what I mean by busy. When I click on this one, the background is very bokeh. It's very like the aperture was really tight. So the focus is just on the piece and the background became very blurry. So that's playing with your aperture. So I think it works, but it is a little busy. I just loved I have a willow tree in my backyard. Again, this is all like very simple and fast. I just walked in my backyard and I was like, oh, the willow tree is very yellow and beautiful. I'm gonna take this quick little video in front of it of this spinning. Again, it might be a little busy, but sometimes it works. I don't think I have another video of any earrings out in the wild. Most things I shoot in the wild are like of my friends wearing my jewelry. So I'll have my models wear jewelry out in public.
We'll just go through your portfolio and show some lighting dark, people can just ask questions if they have.
Yeah. Okay, I'll click on. So these ones are black backdrops that I use. I think we kind of saw some of those photos or some in that first video. Oh, sorry, just the photo is black, I guess. So this was a piece of wood sitting up behind it. I just wanted it to have like a warmer tone than my black backdrop. This one I think is in a tree. Yep, there we go. I did that one in a tree. I'm just really using like a lot of natural resources. A lot of my subject matter like surrounds flora and fauna. So I feel like outside of nature really is indicative of my work. So that's what I do a lot like that. But then with my friends, this one was her in front of a backdrop and I sort of just did her kind of dancing around, showing off the earrings and the movement. Slow-mo helps you because it makes a 5-second video into a 15-second video because it's moving a little slower, right? So that's kind of helpful. Otherwise,
but then you can actually see the product,
Yeah.
when it's slow. So
these were some bandanas that I made. I natural dyed a few bandanas and had them screen printed this year. And when my friends were modeling for the photos, my husband just took a quick video of them. Again, this was in my willow tree in my backyard. That's my neighbor's house. So it's none of it is like very, I think it sort of looks high production and that's great, but it's pretty lowbrow. This is the field across from my house. Use the assets you have. A lot of my photos are taken in ditches, a lot of ditches. So, that photo of my blanket on my page right now with the pampas grass, that's my ditch. That's the ditch in front of my house. So wherever you can take them, you don't need to rent out a studio. I'm a huge supporter of like, use what you got. And it all works. Okay, where was I? Okay, now storage. This is where I might sound a little bossy, but storage is the most important thing with your photos. If I can convince any of you to do anything today, I think it would be buy a large jump drive or external hard drive. Keep your images cataloged, very strictly cataloged with proper wording early on. I was sort of messy. I'm very type A, but I was sort of messy with my cataloging of my images, and you wouldn't believe how long it took me to reorganize and find images like later beyond the fact, a magazine would ask for a photo of something, I'd be like, I have no idea where that is, or yeah, it really it was really devastating to learn later on I should be organizing very appropriately. And so what I mean by that is, and I've had friends like lose all their images because they kept them on their computer, and then, oh, I don't know, they spill a glass of water on their laptop and it crashes, or they lose the images all somehow. So I suggest you do it in two forms, because external hard drives you can drop and they break and then you don't have the images again. Computers can break. So save your images in two forms. I keep them on two external hard drives that just like sync to one another, so they keep exactly the same images, just it backs up. And when you're organizing, be very specific with the file names that you're giving your images. And this helps you two ways. It helps you keep organized. You can find it really simply. So if I say Rubinski Works _spring _2002 models. So I know, like, okay, that was my spring 22. I'll even put the date, like it was my October 23rd update, shop update. So I know exactly what update it was, what it was of the models, not of my flat lays. And I grab that title and I apply it to all of my JPEGs that I've edited. I shoot in RAW on the computer, but then they get turned into JPEGs once I edit them. And so I apply that name to all my JPEGs so that when I go and upload them to my website, the code written into your website will include that title if it publishes that image. So now my website has 200 and some images with titled names or titles for images that say Rubinski _works _ underscores are how the computer and how the code understand like a space. So when you do an underscore, it's better than a dash. Sometimes the dash can confuse the computer. They don't understand what a dash is, but an actual underscore, they're like, oh, that's a space. So when I type Rubinski _works and I put it on my website, now my SEO just got one image stronger. So the search engine optimization of your website, which is what it sounds like, you're optimizing search engine results. So when I go on Google, that's a search engine, and I type in Rubinski Works. Every time I put an image on my website that has a title that says Rubinski _works, Google just got aware of me one more time. So my search engine optimization goes boom, 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 with just by me uploading an image with my file name. So when you go to Google, that's why there's a lot of Rubinski Works options. And I'm obviously the first website, because it's like, yep, that's the real one. She's got 1 million file names and 1 million searches under that title. So that's just like that's one of the things I learned in the marketing agencies that I worked for, graphic design, and the web design places I've worked for. That is just like the simplest way to help you. Every time you infuse your code with more of your titles, and the more specific you can be really specific. You can put Rubinski _works _Madison _Holler _Minnesota _beadwork artist _ you can get crazy. I mean, your style of beadwork, go for it, because all those words will be associated with your name and your website by you typing it in. So that's my biggest suggestion for SEO, boosting your SEO, specific words, but also back to just the organization. You want to be able to find your stuff. So keeping it really organized in folders and in specific verbiage, so you know where to find it, it'll help you in the end. Wish I had done it earlier on. Future you will thank you, I promise. Okay, and now I'm kind of jumping to the social media bit, unless anybody has any questions about photography, photo storage, like in a whole, anything about those things. We're good? Okay, jump into social media. The first thing I have written here in all caps is have fun. Have fun. Don't play the algorithm game. I know that everything else I'm about to say sounds like I'm telling you to play the algorithm game, but truly it's supposed to be fun. I know it's advertising for your business, but you will likely get burnt out and not be having fun if you're only doing it to just to require get sales and just have a higher following and more traffic. It'll burn you out. So you have to a little bit have the joy in it, which there are so many ways to do that. There's a beautiful community of bead workers on Instagram, at least. I'm not on Facebook. Rochelle is upset with me about it, but I'm not on Facebook. But I use Instagram a lot. All the things I'm about to say are primarily for Instagram, but sort of piggyback on Facebook culture also. So yeah, have fun. You'll have more longevity if you're having fun, if you're making connections, sharing other artists' work. They'll share back. I mean, it's a beautiful way to network and make friends and other peers doing bead work. So that being said, here are like the only tips I can give that I sort of abide by. I know there's a lot of tricks and bells and whistles that people do to get followers, but I'll just tell you the things that I sort of abide by and have found to work. So there are like best times to post. I know there's a million stats on the internet of what the exact times for your region or for worldwide or just for the nation are, but I just found that Monday through Friday midday are the best times to post. The closer you are to hump day, the middle of the week, Wednesday, that's the like best day, I think, or just near the middle of the week. I think people are like a little more bored and looking at their phone a little more. And then once you get closer to the weekend, people are busy and they've got a life and they're not looking at social media. So I kind of avoid posting on Saturday and Sunday if I can help it. If it's something I really want people to see, like I want them to see the times of an update or something, I'll post if it's just a photo that I'm just posting. But if it's important information that I want people to see, I'll keep it more towards the middle of the week and midday. So I don't really post past like 6 p.m. say. Having consistency, like I said before, is really important, and being super authentic with your work. If you are taking photos because you saw somebody else take photos and it worked for them, but your heart really isn't in it and you don't really like it, it's just you're never going to be able to sustain that longevity of taking photos in that manner. So you want it to feel like really accessible and achievable to you so that your page just stays super consistent, your photos stay consistent. I mean, I can go to certain people's pages and I'm like, yep, I can see their hand in that. That is theirs. Like, there's no doubt that they took that photo and that that's their work. And so those themes sort of just like will arise the more you're engaging, which engaging is really good too. If you go 2 weeks without posting and then you post for 6 days and then you flip flop, it's gonna sort of see you as like a volatile, inconsistent user, and it's not going to favor you on people's feeds because again, you're not being consistent. So yeah. Consistency. I'll show you what I mean by sort of the consistency of people's feeds and how you decide to share your images. I mean, by all means, you don't need to come up with like rules for your feed, but some people do, and they find that really fun. Like me personally, I post in triptychs, which is 3 images that go together. And so I'll go to my website and show you what I mean. So on my feed, on the main posts, you can see that like I have sandwiched black and black with something in the middle, and I don't put whites right next to each other. I just have like little rules for the way I want my feed to look. I'll do like, wood, and those just kind of, they come really easily because I have a lot of image to post from. So it doesn't take a massive amount of forethought for me to post like this, and sometimes it mixes up, this is orange but there's a little orange over there. It's not like perfect, and I wouldn't want it to be. That would feel a little forced and like a little bit of a waste of energy for me, but keeping blacks away from each other so that there's some like visual dissonance. There's a little bit of like breakdown between all the images. I don't know how much longer I need to scroll. I think it kind of is clear just by looking. as far as we have. But then on other people's, I'll stop this and I'll start this. On other people's, so this is Erica Wiener, and she collects like antiques and oddities and produces some, makes castings of old antique rings and produces some new work that way. But her feed is always very dramatic and moody and dark and very romantic. She uses a lot of reds. And so hers is like incredibly, it just becomes so clear what her style is, what her aesthetic is, and what type of images she can sustain. And have it all look super consistent. And then you jump to someone like Celia Moore, who's doing beadwork. Hers is very pale, light, ethereal, like super lovely. And you can just, it pops up on my feed and I know who it is before I even actually look at the images. And so those are sort of the things that I mean by consistency and what feels good to you. And like, this is her art form just as much as her beadwork, right? Like these images she's taking are just as much her art as anything else. There are really complex pages that you could run, and some people love doing it. Like some people love collage and have a lot of fun doing it. Old Pal is an example of that. So you can sort of see how this like gradient from green to yellow is consistent throughout all the images. So they are sort of like making these collages beforehand on like Photoshop, and then they're breaking down a big collage into a bunch of squares, and they're posting, you know, 3 at a time so that the collage is building. And their page is kind of incredible. It is a cannabis brand, but I'm realizing now that's a little funny, but it's just that it is one of the best examples of like how you can build a page, you know, have a collage build over a great amount of time. They have a lot of, so they must have been thinking about this and must be adding over time for a really long time. Which I find really interesting and admirable that they've dedicated that much time to it. So those are like different kind of like aesthetics and vibes you can go for on your page. But at the end of the day, do what feels good for you, do what feels right. It's sort of a waste of energy to invest in a style that you don't think you can sustain. I mean, if I thought I had all the energy in the world, I would do a crazy fun collage like that. But I know that I don't have it within me, so I choose to do it the way that I do it, and it works, and I still have fun doing it. And yeah, I'm going strong after all these years. Still love doing it. So, yep, that's what I have to say about that in the end. Then the next thing I would suggest is be incredibly transparent with your information. So in your bios, have any like shop updates or events listed. People will go to your website, but the least amount of clicks possible, it will benefit you. You know, clients and viewers, they want the information like right at their fingertips. So making them work for it the least amount of possible is going to be advantageous. So that also goes for like your website. Have your website right in your bio, or if you have a link tree, have your website like near the top of that, so that just the information is so quick for people to grab. Even in my captions, sometimes I won't say something that was really important, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I think to say that? You know, so, and people will ask, they'll be like, where's this? And people will help you out in that way. But I'm just thinking through like, what information do I need them to know from this post, or what do I want them to know from my page? Having people go to your website is a great thing. That also helps your SEO. The more organic reach that you have, or the more organic clicks that you have on your page, just people like cold going to your website, really helps your SEO. So it always helps people to go to the website. So you could force them to go over there to get all the information, but I know that on social media, people just want to see everything that they need. I always told my graphic design clients, when you're making like a business card or any type of print material that you're handing out to people, only provide your website. Don't put your Instagram, don't put your Facebook, just put your website, and make sure that your website has your social tags on it. Like at the bottom of my website, there's a footer with all of my social media tags, so they can, or it's an icon, they click on it and it leads to Instagram. But the reason I would only put my website is because that forces them to search your website. That's one more organic click that you got from someone, and that boosts your SEO, which I think most of us are probably selling off of our websites or Etsy's. So yeah, put your website or your Etsy so that is the place they have to go to first to see any information. But if you're on social media, have information in the bio so that people can read it really easily. And like material and things like that. People will ask questions on like the size of an object if you don't have it on a model, which is why people like seeing model photos. I don't think I said that before, but most people find that model photos perform better because they can see scale and they can see things like that. So most people think that model photos perform better. I've actually found the opposite on my page, which I can't understand why. Maybe the flat lays are just like, they're a little more like punchier and have a little more contrast, and you can really see the colors and the like texture of the beads better. I'm not sure why that is, but most people find model photos perform better. So you got to figure out what works for you, right? Like none of these are hard, fast rules. It'll be a lot of trial and error of posting stuff and seeing what people are responding to. Yep. And the last thing I say, I already sort of said before, was share others' work. Don't be just like a voyeur who goes on Instagram and just like posts your stuff and looks at other people's stuff and then blogs off. Like engage with other people, comment, support your community, support the things you care about. I am a single maker artist and I'm not Target. And so I speak my mind for social injustices and things that I see happening. And I'm really passionate about Indigenous sovereignty and plight and land back and water protectors and things that I care about and love. And the list goes on, right? And I share about it and I advocate for different organizations doing fund sourcing and things like that. And I don't think that things need to inherently be non-political because you're a business. So go on there and share and have fun, find people you love, find people that inspire you, advocate for causes you believe in. You will find your people and they will buy your things and love you for it. We're all, small makers. And I think seeing someone's personality on Instagram is really important. I don't really post my face like talking very often because I find it very sterile to talk to my phone. So I have a really hard time doing that, but I do engage with people a lot. Like I really like meeting. I'm a huge extrovert, so I just want to talk to people all the time. But yeah, I found incredible artists that like have really put a fire in my belly and made me keep going and making, and times where I'm a little burnt out or I'm sort of like in a creative slump. I'm not like going to people's pages to find inspiration from their work, but just seeing other people making cool stuff, like all the quilters I've connected with on there and all the just people doing other mediums that I admire really inspire me. And that's like the joy of it. And that's where you'll find your people and your clients to buy things and keep you going.
There's a question about how sharing posts. Are you sharing it as a post, sharing it as a story? What's the best way?
So if you're involved in something like a giveaway or a raffle or an auction or anything like that, absolutely share it on your feed. Like make that information last longer than 24 hours because stories only last 24 hours. So make that information, again, accessible if people can see it. You can always like archive it later if you're like, I don't like this photo. I don't know why you want, but you know what I mean? Like if someone used a photo for an auction that you're a part of, you can archive it or delete it, or you can just delete it from your feed, right? Archiving it saves it away and you can always bring it back if you want. So that's an interesting function that Instagram has now. But yes, post it on your feed if you're involved with it. But your feed, a post, won't have a link attached to it. You can only apply links in your stories. So like today I went on and I said, hey, come and join me for teaching about photo and social media for Upper Midwest Bead Society. Here's the Zoom link. And that's the only way I could have done that was through a story. Through your stories, there are rules about, or there's tips and tricks for posting in your stories and getting more engagement in your stories. Consistency, posting like something every day. I don't do that. If I don't have anything to post, I'm not going to force it. Sometimes I go a whole month without posting on my feed, which I know is bad for my algorithm, but I'm not going to force it. I want it to stay fun and I'm not going to be like, I'm a robot, must post photo. So I don't do it if I don't have to. But if I'm on there and I see my friend is like running a cool sale on their Etsy, or, you know, something is happening in the world that I feel passionate about, and someone has posted a cool infographic to educate people, or any of those things, I reshare to my feed. Always remember to tag them, because just because you reshare it, like you press, it's a little flying paper airplane. That's what it looks like when you share. And so you press share and you say to your stories. And if you do that, they can't see you did that. You have to like tap on the screen and type out @Rubinski Works, and then it will see that I will be notified that you shared it. So that then me, I could be like, look, Rochelle reshared my thing, and I can reshare that. So you're just resharing each other's back and forward and keeping like the momentum moving for each other and saying nice things to each other. I mean, that's the whole, it is social media. Like that's what it is. I think sometimes people lose sight and they think of it just as an advertising platform. And wouldn't it be boring if you just logged on and all you saw was people selling stuff? You know, I think we need to be loving on each other a little bit too. So yeah, so stories, definitely you can share links. You can do polls. Those are massively helpful. I mean, like at one point in time, have we had, what do they call that when big companies survey a bunch of people? I'm not sure, I'm losing the word in my brain, but you basically have this like this amazing asset. Be like, hey, do you guys like these in silver or gold? Or do you have a preference between gold plated or solid gold, or what, you know what I mean? You can ask them and they can answer you. And those get a lot of engagement. If someone has to tap the screen and respond, like a yes, no, a poll, any of the ones that are engaging for someone get a lot of views. It just boosts you because people are having to tap on it. They're, you know, not everyone has to reply to your story. If they see a cute photo, they could quick reply with a heart, or they could message something to you, but they don't have to. But if someone sees a poll, it's as easy as yes or no, and they'll start engaging with it, and that'll like sort of like have a trickle effect, and they'll show your story to more people. Every once in a while, randomly, I'll do a poll for a question I genuinely want to know. And I'll look at it, and I get maybe like max 10,000 viewers on my stories. And if I do a poll, it's like 40,000 views. Like so many people see it just because you asked a question and they had to answer. So doing engaging tools like that definitely will help. So yeah, did that answer the question? It was just, do you do it in your story or your feed? I do both, but stories are more like active. I think a lot of people go straight to the stories now. They don't even scroll the feed. They just want to see like, oh, what was so-and-so doing today? And your stories are aligned by the people you are like most actively following. So the people you've liked their post the most, you've looked at their stories the most, it will have them first. So I always have like my best friend and my mom and my sister and my husband, you know what I mean? Theirs will pop up first, and it goes in that order. So the more you engage with someone, the more you'll see their stuff in your feed, the more you'll see their stories. Yeah, so engage with people, like and comment. Yeah.
Yes, thank you
It's free.
so much for just all the great tips.
Yeah, I don't know if I forgot anything. I think I said all of my little apps, Lightroom. Sorry, there is one here. I guess I will show you. I do actually sort of use this pretty often. So because I post in the triptych style where it's 1, 2, 3 photos, there is an app that I use. Oh, that's VSCO. This one, it's called okay, UNUM. I'm not sure, however you say that. And you can add rows. So right here, I will add a row of 3 photos just to make sure it looks good. You know, I'm like, okay, yep, that looks good above these 3 photos. So that's sort of a way I can like slowly build my feed, and I don't have to think about it then. I just like I do this 1 day a week maybe, and then I've got my 3 posts ready. You can schedule your posts too if you don't want to go on every day, or even like the 3 times a week that I post at max. If you don't want to do that, you can schedule it so that it's just like, would you like to share your Instagram post? And you can just go ahead and share it. You don't have to sit and think about the caption and apply any settings to it. It's just ready for you. So yeah, that's really nice. I think that's the last thing I had to share.
Thank you so much. Anybody else have any other questions?
That's UMUM. you said?
UNUM. So UN as in Nancy, U, and then M as in Maddie.
Okay, thank you. And then Paulette has a question. She said, you stated to reshare a post, and do you write in, what do you want to say, state at business or the person on Facebook? For example, if you want to reshare the Upper Midwest Bead Society, does she write at Upper Midwest Bead Society?
Yeah.
She's asking how to share.
Yep. When you share on either Facebook or Instagram, I would always just type the person's name in so it can tag them. That will show them, and then the sharing can kind of go back and forward, or it just helps their whatever their post is, and it helps yours because it's associating you with that. So yeah, I would definitely tag on either apps. Yeah. Okie dokie. Any other questions?
Who is your favorite person you're following right now on
Ooh.
Instagram? For us to have be inspired besides you.
Oh gosh, that's so hard. Okay, I'll stick to bead workers. Maybe I'll think about bead workers. Specifically, I have too many beadwork friends. This is hard. Now I'm on the spot.
Well, then you can just type them in the chat and we'll
Yeah.
follow them as that. So you can just type them in the chat that as you think about them.
There's a huge list. Just yesterday, actually, I suggested this person, someone wants to write an article and they were like, do you have any other bead workers you'd suggest? And I suggested my friend Laura. Laura Brand is her name on Instagram, and she is Red River Métis, and she does beautiful beadwork, but she also works with Manitoba Mucklucks up in Canada, and she does this really cool rematriation program where she buys up old moccasins and mitts with beadwork that are on like auction sites or Facebook garage sales or anywhere she can find them. She has people donate money, and then she buys up all these goods and she repairs them if necessary. And then she makes them available to Indigenous kin to purchase or have, so that the Indigenous made beadwork is getting back in people's hands. And I just love everything she does. She's very smart and super kind and makes beautiful beadwork. So that's one I'll throw out right away because I love Laura. She's the best.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maddie. We look forward to testing and trying out all your tips and tricks.
Okay, great. Everybody on here, message me on Instagram. We can be friends and ask any questions you think of. If anything pops up after this, I'm happy to be an asset to anybody.
Sounds super. We are so darn excited. And so we now have Barbara Ellis. So if anybody needs to take a quick break for just 2 seconds, we are going to have Barbara Ellis is coming up in just momentarily. And then also I want to see, where did we go back again? Gallery. Lisa, why don't you show us once again your earrings and talk about your next thing. The next Beading Basics Live we've got coming up in December 10th.
Okay. Switch cameras.
And then we'll start with Barbara in just a couple minutes, because I know the people sometimes need just 2 seconds to go get some more tea.
All right, one moment. Got to switch on. Okay, there we go.
Put you on the spot here. These are also things you're some of the things you're teaching in Tucson, right? You're having a bead retreat in Tucson.
Yes, we are. So let's see.
You have an elaborate design with
These
Kingo.
are the earrings that I will be teaching Saturday, December 10th. And I have kits for these. So there is enough materials and supplies in each kit to make 2 pairs of earrings. So I have this silver blue colorway, and that includes all the supplies to make 1 pair of the backlit pair, and then supplies to make 1 pair of the silver pair. So that's silver and blue. And then I have the golden green color which is this one.
Oh, those are pretty.
Are they upside down or can you,
No, they're either way. I mean,
let's see.
there
There.
are. There you go. It's
Okay. So there is the golden green. So they have green. Okay, sorry. They have green crystals in them. And then they feature the Imani symbol beads, the earring posts. So that's why they're called Imani earrings. And then I have the white hematite. So there, and it's a pink mist, which is a purple bluish color and a white opal color.
great.
And if you don't like to wear posts, and you like to wear kidney ear wires instead, you could do that. Just one moment. Okay, so I made them using a kidney ear wire. And the nice thing about that is they are reversible. So you can wear them on either side. So that is what I'll be teaching on December 10th. I also have these and a pendant that I will be teaching. Let's see, where's the pendant? Okay, so this is the pendant featuring, one moment. Okay, so that features the symbol bail that I used for that. So that is one of my classes. I also have a class using the Raku symbol magnetic clasp. And this is one of the colorways of the bracelet. Sorry, there.
So then all the information about your Tucson classes as well is on your Lisa B Designs Etsy site.
Correct. And that is in the chats. And then I do sell supplies through my Etsy shop, as well as Bobby Bead has supplies to make these earrings. So,
And we have the samples at Bobby Bead as well, so you could see them in person. So
you have one of them.
yeah,
think
I
you
have the ear.
blue.
Yeah, one of the colors. So
Right.
perfect. Well, we'll then put December 10th on our calendar.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Barbara Ellis of Beaded Treasures by Barbara. I'm so excited. We have so much fun today.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on, don't we?
You sure do. And so you make so many different beautiful things, the kits, the Raku pieces. Where are we going to start today?
Well, I think we're going to start with the kits. And I've got a little presentation thing where I can talk at the same time and share that. So let me start there. So this first screen is just a little bit of an overview of some of the kits that I have. The first one that's shown in that top left corner, that one is called My Turkish Delight. That one is probably one of my most popular classes to date. And it is so popular that I am still scheduling classes on it and I'm still selling kits on it. It is a repertoire of different style ropes. I call it an infinity style necklace on the length. I'm gonna skip to that picture so you can kind of see more about it. So it comes in two colors, the Turkish purple haze and the midnight. I also had it in ivory and black, but I sold out of that and I hope to make some more. If any of the things that I'm showing you, you are interested in, we're going to sell them separately by going to my website, or to probably preferable to my email, which is B as in Barbara, JE213@comcast.net.
Can you
This
do
way-
that again? So
Okay.
I can put it in the
Yeah.
chat?
Okay. B like my name, Barbara, J, which is my middle initial Gene, Ellis, my last name, 213 at Comcast.net. This way you can send me your address. I can send you a PayPal invoice and we can zero in on which actual item, because the items I'm showing you, there's going to be a lot of choices on. So we're going to just go through each of the kits and then we'll get into the Raku. So again, this is one of my more popular ones. And in the description, it shows that it's actually two pieces, a short style necklace that is adjustable around 18 inches, but could be shorter by you making the ropes a little less, or longer by making the ropes a little longer. And then an infinity necklace that's like 78 inches so that you could actually wrap it around your neck 2 to 3 times. And these are the two most popular colors. It's kind of like a mauve and gray and a gray and light gray. And it has an accent of the silvers and golds. So it's kind of a classic color combination. So that is the first one, Turkish Delight.
Can you check the chat real quick and make sure I have that right?
Okay, let me see if I can pull that up, chat. Question. BJE, no Ellis, just BJE,
Oh,
no,
Okay.
and then 213 at Comcast.net.
BJE 213 Comcast.net. Okay, sorry.
Glad you caught it. Be writing to somebody in another world. Okay. Okay, so then the next one I have I've got to get rid of the chat now because it's right in the middle. The next one is my Art Nouveau Goddess Pennant. And so that one is done with the Raku clay, which I did a little bit of a talk about Raku before. And it's a process that I use a specific clay meant to do Raku with. And I roll out the clay and I make imperfect or designs into the clay, then cut them with a cookie stamp. And this one has like an Art Nouveau goddess. So because of my interior design background, I tend to do a lot of historical kind of things and things with faces, things with different color tones. When I do this Raku process, there is no way I can get the same exact color twice. So I will show this and people want it exactly as shown. There is no way I could do it if I wanted to. All the elements in Raku are just totally relying on so many different things, by the glaze, by the clay, by the firing. You rip up combustible newspaper, sawdust, things like that. All those chemicals add to the fire and just get all different color tones, different shapes. So it's not a perfected art. It's something that is more enjoyable because of all the differences. I love to think of art to wear. So if you look to the right of this picture, I've kind of shown all different. This is as close as I can get to the original. And I have like 3 or 4 different faces that I actually use. So if for chance you are interested in this one and say you want it in another color like blue or like rust or another tone, I may very well have it. I'm going to show you some Raku pieces individually after we go through all the kits, and you will see some more options. The next one up would be my Enchanted Gardens. This is a bracelet, and I came up with this design because a lot of times cuffs are not exactly comfortable for everyone, and they tend to have a bulge side on your wrist side. So when you put your hand on the table, sometimes it bumps it. So I tried to design a piece that's kind of a cuff on one side and flat beadwork on the other side. So it's an intermixture of 2 different stylings. The first one is again in that mauve color. It's a tie-dye ultra suede that I found one year at Bead and Button, and I just bought it up. And then the second one is with vintage lace in ultra suede, so that the ultra suede comes through the lace. And then both have this herringbone design off of the main images. So again, and all the prices are listed on these fact sheets too. If for some reason you need to take a quick screenshot of anything that I'm showing, go right ahead. Take your camera, take a picture, anything that can help you remember what it is that you're looking at. And then we will move to the next one. This one is the Bohemian Sampler. Again, it was similar. It was designed prior to the Turkish Delight kit in the fact that I was trying to get a repertoire of different bead weaving stitches in one necklace. So there is peyote, right angle weave, herringbone, 2-drop peyote, various different stitches. And then I showcase how you can from one stitch to the next almost seamlessly to create this style necklace. It's designed with a crossover in the back so that it actually lays fairly evenly around your neck. And the front is actually showcased with a bunch of different chains at different levels. This one is only offered in the one colorway, which is kind of this mossy green kind of color. And the chain has actually got a goldish tinge to it, but a warmer one, not a shiny gold. The next one up is because I'm a lover of John Waterhouse. He's probably one of my favorite artists. So this is another cuff design using a lot of bead embroidery techniques, a lot of the stop stitch. And it showcases all different images of John Waterhouse paintings. And there's a couple of others that aren't his, but pretty much dominantly, they're all John Waterhouse. So I take that image and I have it reproduced on like a canvas material. And I use a quatrefoil shape to get this little picture glass image of the art itself as showcased on the 2 finished pieces in the center. And I Mermaid is one that's shown. Lady Shallot is there. The lady with flowers in her hair, smelling the flowers, wind in her hair. Pandora's box. There's quite a few of them. They're just tend to be my absolute favorite is John Waterhouse. Again, I love images of faces, and it probably showcases in some of my pieces. The next image I call Initially Me, and I have these initials in just about every single initial. And I will show you a necklace that I've also done, an Initially Me necklace. This is, again, bead embroidery, and it works with a shibori ribbon and some freshwater pearls. This one is a semi-precious coin with the letter B on it. And like I said, I have other initials as well. I also have Raku initials in the same size and in smaller sizes. In case this bracelet might be too big, you could always narrow it down to a smaller version. Almost all of these kits I have taught either at Bead and Button, or I also teach a lot at the Embroidery Guild of America. So they're pre-tested pretty much, and that is why I have some of these kits. Some of them I just have a couple left, but so they're limited, and others I have more. And so this again is a cuff. One of the nice things about this one is that I put a plastic bottle, like a recycling piece, inside of the cuff so that it actually gives it a lot of shape. So it doesn't necessarily lay flat. It's going to look like a metal cuff, but it's not. So it's a little bit more comfortable to wear. Next one is my damselfly. Damselfly being a female instead of dragonfly, but they really are the same thing. This one is the cuff style, and I also have the necklace style. So those are 2 different kits. Both do the same exact dragonfly. And then you either put it on a ultra suede cuff, or you put it with a Russian style rope necklace style. And the next one is the black orchid cuff. Again, a nice wide bracelet featuring bead embroidery. And the black orchid is the central focal point. I use wire lace mesh on this one to give it kind of a backdrop. And I stretch it out and stitch it down on my interfacing, and then I bead around it with the bead embroidery. Black is the only availability on this kit at this point. Again, it was previously taught. This one was taught at the Embroidery Guild in Chicago last year. So relatively a newer one. And I'm gonna, well, I'll show this one, but I think I sold out. This was leather and lace bead embroidered cuff. And it was another one that, this one was kind of fun, and I'll probably make some more of it, but it's using one of those machines that you use for card making materials. And I actually put fairly subtle leathers and ultra suedes through it and cut a pre-shape. And then I do all the bead embroidery work around it. Laced it with a shibori ribbon and some bugle beads and some seed beads, made the flowers separately and attached them on. And then back the entire piece with the same design, just the front is in a beautiful silver leather and the backing is in a silver ultra suede. And I use quite a few of those shapes as well. And then the last one I have is this one here is, I was asked to do, there was a magazine write-up from the Embroidery America, Designers Across America, and they asked me to design a specific piece for that magazine. So I came up with these Raku beads, and I did a Cellini necklace. So I sell the beads separately, and you would go and you would purchase all your beads, or you would dig through your stashes of beads to do the Cellini to match the colors of the beads. Since all these beads are done in Raku, all the colors are completely different, and it would be too time consuming to make a zillion different colorways. So I found by doing it this way, it was a little bit easier and people would be able to use their own stash of goods. In here, it's like 2 different size 15s, 2 different size 11s, and 8. And I believe it's a tiny, like 2 or 3 millimeter crystal that I used as the focal for the Cellini part. So that would be all of the kits that I have available. Is there any questions at this point? Do I need to go back to any of them? No? Okay, so we'll pause that one. And then from here, I guess I can go right into some of my Raku pieces and give you an idea of what we have there. So, okay, so another popular class that I had at one time was this one here, which I call Tree of Life. And the main necklace, I did a basic bead embroidery job. And then I did this extra long chain that basically wraps around your neck twice. You wrap it around once and then twice, and you knot it down low. So it has 2 drops on it. So that is just a showcasing of a very easy necklace to make. And then it basically showcases all of these different Raku pieces. These are all Tree of Life designs.
How big are they? About 1 inch, 2 inch?
I should have had a quarter, huh? I'm gonna say 1.5 inch. See the face of my watch there?
Oh, cute.
So it's pretty similar. It's a basic pendant shape. And I'm pretty close to 1.5 inches. And so this is definitely trying to showcase and show you all the different colors I get with the Raku. So I never know what I'm going to get. Like this one, it had that interesting copper. I didn't use
Some of your numbers got jobbled by the chain of your necklace. So we just gotta fix your number so people can know which one they want.
True. Okay. And as I said, if you decide that you want one, this is the best way with the numbers, but I also have more, believe it or not. I have tons and tons. I just finished firing a batch, and these are all new. I didn't have these last week, so these are all new pieces. And the thing that I had the most fun with this is some of them I put some regular PMC on top of the Raku. And so if there's any silver illuminating on it, That's because I rubbed it with a little bit of
Is
PC.
that what that is? I was just looking, like it just has such an extra glow and
Precious metal clay, and I kind of thinned it down and just rubbed a little bit on the top of anything with my fingers. So that's pretty much why you're getting a little bit more glow to it.
Mhm. So pretty.
So those are all the Tree of Life. So since I'm using the same numbers on different designs, if you're interested in the Tree of Life, write the word Tree of Life down and then whatever number you're interested in, or say that you like number 7. Do I have any more that are similar? And I can always send you more that are similar so that there's more options. I just can't possibly show all of them in one screening, so to speak.
Right.
So that's the Tree of Life. So I'm going to move that one out of the way.
Which are these again?
That's a good question. Okay, so normally I have them at 35 a piece and I'll do them 2 for 50.
Uh-huh.
This is a holiday one, so this is just a real limited collection. And I tend to like hearts as well. So some of these are hearts and some of these are ovals and these are poinsettias. And so when I first started playing with Raku, I did a heart very similar. Sherry Serafini had one like this, which is a heart. And so you just bead around the heart. Now I do have some instructions available for the heart as well. And so I will, and I have like 3 trays of different hearts as well. But I thought that it would be fun to do kind of a Christmas collection. And so those are just 8 pieces. That's all I have on that. So those would be kind of limited. And then since we're talking about hearts, let me go ahead and pull a couple trays there. So these I have like all kinds of hearts. They're all different things that I've put on them. Like this one has a dragonfly on it. This one has a face on it.
So how should these be numbered or people refer to them?
Okay, so I didn't actually number them because there's so many of them. But if you want to see the heart trays, I'm going to leave them in the trays and I can take a picture and send it to you. I think would be the easiest because I've got 3 trays or more of hearts. I gotta pull that one out so it's not blurry.
Wow.
There's just lots and lots of.
They are all so different.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of smush the heart and elongate it. Sometimes I put a flower on the heart or a face or a dragonfly.
And so they too are like 1.5 by 1.5 kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe here, you see my watch there again. So it's kind of a standard size. So if you even see me with the necklace that I have on, so it's pretty normal size when you look at it. This one's an oval shape and we'll be showing you some oval ones as well.
And then what are the hearts running?
The same thing, and I'll mix all of them. So if you want 1 heart and 1 Raku bead or 1 dragonfly, whatever you decide you want, I will mix them all together and we'll ship them the most reasonable way. I'll combine the shipping. If you want a kit with a heart, so it'll be plenty.
That's so cool.
So believe it or not, I still have 2 more trays of hearts. I mean, hearts are just huge. So because I didn't alphabetize them, so there's all different kinds of hearts.
So did you use different metals to create those other colors too? I mean, there's so many different colors.
Yeah, they're all different glazes. So there are Raku glazes. Sometimes I'll combine them. Like if a piece has more black on it, like this little dragonfly over here, he's got the black wings. That's just by me not putting a Raku glaze on. So that's getting the black because there's no glaze where the black is.
Gotcha.
That's one technique. Sometimes I'll add a color and work with a couple of colors. This one is an unusual one because it's a matte finish, and that's an actual dragon on there.
Okay, and what's the third one on the top left? Is that a person, a
one?
face?
It's an angel face,
An
with
angel
the wings.
face, okay, that's what I thought I was seeing, but I wasn't sure if,
Got it, yeah.
so pretty.
And then some more. So I have a lot of, like I said, a lot of hearts. And this one's
Ooh,
an
look at
angel.
all the dragonflies.
I have a thing for dragonflies. Yep.
Our magical creatures.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, that other kit, the damselfly, that's, you know, one of my other ones. And so
Is this tray number 3?
this is tray number 3.
Thank you.
Yep. And if you take a real quick picture with your camera, like your phone, if you have it handy, or if you know how to do a screenshot, that could make it easy too. That way we could kind of zero in on which one you're kind of interested in. I think that
Yeah, that worked really well.
yeah, I think because it's so hard to keep them all from moving. These were trays that this bead store that I used to work with, they used to use this for troll beads, and they were getting rid of all of these trays. And I said, oh no, I want those trays. I can use protect my Raku pieces easily. Okay, so this is another one. This is called a green man. So he looks kind of like a mask. So this would be called Green Man. And again, I have a lot of these, and I just tried to showcase basic colors. But if you say, Barb, I like the Green Man tray, do you have any more in that aqua color? I can send you a whole sampling of all the aqua ones, because I have too many to showcase, as you will see as we continue on. So this is all, they look like either a mask or, I was told, a green man. And again, they're about that same size. I find that that's a good size to bead around without getting too big. And I think it's the same. Yeah, I mean, this was, we'll show that one. Okay, so that's that one. And then when I talked about Art Nouveau faces, I tend to just love them. So this is my Art Nouveau lady. The color of the glaze is called Wing Dingy in this aqua shade. I've also made it in a dark version like this, and some of them have rust colors and some of them have gray colors. They just come with what they come. And so this is what is that one kit that I call Art Nouveau. So this is her. And so this kit has all the components to do that, with the coin pearl, with the metal piece, with the ropes and the chains. Or if you like, you can buy just the Raku piece and design your own piece totally around it. So I can even custom make a kit. If you say, I love this, can you make custom colors to go with that? I would be more than happy to do that. Just give me a little extra time and I will be able to create a custom kit based on the Raku. So this one is a side view. So Art Nouveau goddess with a side view. Then I found this other one, almost like a Medusa. And that's an Art Nouveau as well. And it has this side here coming on either side. And you see all the different tones. This one's more gray. This one's more of that wing dingy. This one's kind of matte, makes it look like it's really old. And then there's one other face. This one, you have to look close, but she looks like she's smelling the flowers. So I call this tray them smelling the flowers. The last tray was like Medusa. And see how sometimes you get a little copper flash. So her face is here, and there's a little flower in there. And sometimes you see the image and sometimes it goes away. If I turn it upside down, I can't see it. It has to be turned just this way so that I can see the image. And this one's not showing up so much, but it's kind of a green. It's a new color called lime green. So those are my 3 trays of girls, and like I said, I do have more. And that's a popular one with that Art Nouveau goddess kit. So I'll sell either the kit or the separate goddess. This next tray is a hodgepodge a little bit. Showing a bunch of different ones. So these are the dragonflies. 3 different colors, and I have more. So those I've been out of for a long time. They're brand new. I just got them back in. This one's a dragonfly as well, and this one's a dragonfly over here. This one is a lock. This is a little frog on a lily pad, the same as this one. I've got a star, and that's just like a floral. This one's a dragon. And these are kind of fun for people that love owls.
Oh my gosh, what a
Yeah.
cute mermaid.
Oh, I have a ton of mermaids. They're brand new.
They're adorable.
Yeah, I enjoyed
And
that.
that one is like a teal and purpley lavender kind of color, or what am I seeing?
Kind of more mossy green and that copper flashing and a little bit deeper teal in there.
She's beautiful.
I have more mermaids too. I can always.
Yeah, I know you're definitely have to show us more mermaids. And then Jan also said if you take pictures of each tray and send them to us, we could easily put those in,
Oh, okay, that would work too. Sure.
That way people could help after,
Yeah. Then I'm gonna show you the Cellini spiral beaded beads.
Ooh.
I basically make the beaded bead, which is then put on the Cellini rope. And I glue on either side of the bead that metal ring so that it's a little bit more finished. And again, the different finishes. This one has that wing dingy finish. This one's a blackish finish, more wing dingy. Wing dingy was one of the most popular colors. I couldn't seem to get enough of it.
Well, it's a great name. I love the name.
Yeah.
It's fun to say.
It's one of the few I remember because the name is so different. So those are all.
Are
beaded.
those patterns in the glass, or is that just a cool texture?
It's definitely a texture. So I take and I roll it in a ball, and then I take a big kind of like straw and I take and place it in the center and kind of dig out a round thing and then go back and forth so it's nice and smooth. Then I take it like on the dowel and I roll it across the textured item. So sometimes it's like old antique stamps, block stamps things, and I'll roll it across that, or I'll just roll it across anything that makes a little bit of interest, because then when you put it in the glaze and the firing, it just adds extra light to it.
Yeah, it really does.
So that one, I do have the written instructions to go with it for the Cellini, even though that's kind of a basic thing, but if you need that, I can include that with the bead as well.
So when you mentioned the kits, was that the pattern, the Raku, Cellini, Cross America? It was Cross
Yeah, so
America.
it was written up in a booklet for the Embroidery Guild of America, because they did a big write-up on me and they had all these different things that I've designed and whatnot. And they said, in order to enhance our readers a little bit more, we'd like to give them something and you can sell beads. So I wrote the instructions for a basic Cellini and included that as the freebie, and then people purchased the beaded bead from me. So that's basically, I still have written instructions and these beaded beads that can be sold to go with it. So again, because you can see there's so much differences in the color of the beads, it's easier just to hand coordinate it with your bead stash than to custom put a kit together for all these different colorways, because there's no two that are the same. And it just takes basically 15s, 11s, and 8s, and one little accent bead, like a 2 millimeter or a 3 millimeter. And you just kind of match it up to the bead and go for it. That's that one. And then this is a tray of initials, just to show you how many initials there are. So these are alphabetical. I didn't put that, so I have A, B, C, D, E, tried to get it alphabetical. And I have two different sizes, the smaller version and the larger version. And some are more of a goldy beige and some are more blue. But they come out all different ways. And when I talked about the bracelet, this was the bracelet. So that's, you see how it wants to spring? That's because I put a plastic bottle piece in there, so it keeps the shape. It's not metal. And it's a little bit more comfortable to wear then. And that's where I use the initial. That is called Initially Me. So I have the initials separately. I have the kit. And then I also have that same style that I did with the necklace where it's a double wrap. Let's see if I can show you how that works. You got my picture in the sidebar, right?
Yep,
Okay, so take my little dragonfly off. So if I was to wear this one, I put this on like so. And it's really long. It's like when I make this, it measures at least 30 inches on each strand. And I cross it in the back. And then I take and do like a little double loop. So you see the little drops on the end.
That way it goes with any outfit.
Clever way of wearing a necklace, and you don't have to worry about what size somebody is. It just works. So I did that with the initial, and you could do it with any of them. So this was done with what they call a peanut bead, but it could be any right angle weave technique, nice and simple, and a basic bead. And I do have the instructions on that one as well.
So do you call that like a double wrap or what?
Yeah, I would call that the double wrap. Raku. And I don't know if you saw this one that I was wearing. That's one of the dragonfly ones. That one was originally done for a Toho challenge. And so I couldn't make enough. I kept making, and so like I said, I ran out of dragonflies, and now I just got a new batch of those in. Well, I could tempt you with you said you wanted to see more of. This is going to be a big tray, so if you want to see mermaids.
Wow, look at all those mermaids.
There's a lot of them. So
I love it. Oh my God.
yeah. So I basically, you just got to tell me which color and I can send you the colors, but I did an oval shaping and then I did the round shape. So it's the same image, but I used two different cookie cutters.
Gotcha.
And then I just did as many colors as I could have the glaze to do. This is like another style of a mermaid. This one turned out really cool. It's got the teal background, and then that's all the PMC silver on top.
Wow, pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so hard to decide.
I know. And so they're brand new. So I'm probably going to be doing a new tutorial with the mermaids for sure, because I just completed a necklace with mermaids. And that was why I decided to go ahead and make some of my own raku as well. And then there's some intermixed, like I talked about the dragonflies. There's some dragonflies in here too.
Ooh.
You see how that PMC is on there? It just really adds to it.
So much dimension.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like making candy.
That's for sure. There you go. All them dragonflies.
Yeah, my two favorites, the dragonflies for sure.
You also have something in the middle here, in between the dragonflies and the mermaids. What are they? They're like swirly.
Here,
Yeah.
okay, so that's one of those Art Nouveau goddesses.
Okay.
That's an Art Nouveau. This is a frog. This is, I don't know what, I think that's an angel. So I kind of mixed some in. This is that other, that Medusa style with the hair uneven on either side.
Mhm.
Yeah, but mostly mostly the mermaids on there. That, like I said, that's a new one for me. This was another design that I had used one of my Raku pieces for. And I call this like a statement necklace. So this piece here. Or light on it. So that's one of those ladies' faces in the Raku. And then this is a statement like a cutout. So I don't have a kit on it, but I just showcase again one of my Raku pieces in jewelry. So this way I can control the muse. A lot of times I'll start with something that I purchased somewhere, and if it's discontinued, like lovely Swarovski stuff, all that, you know, we can't get it anymore, all that good stuff. So if you can control the muse, that's pretty much what got me started with the Raku, because now I can make it and I have molds, and unless I break the mold, I can pretty much make it again and again. But that's that same lady.
Those cutouts are just beautiful. Do you ever make like pairs of cutouts or just different shapes for?
You mean these, the side pieces?
Yeah, the side pieces. I don't know if that's what you were calling cutout or not, or that's maybe it's just.
Yeah. I usually use those in the statement necklaces. And so that's, you know, a yin and a yang. It's basically the same shape for the left and the right. And I've basically tried to come up with new ways of controlling the size, because I teach so much and everybody's size is different. I have found that if I can make pieces in numerous phases, like one here is the focal, two sides, a back, at least that gives me different points to make it smaller or bigger. And so many times if it's all one piece, it just doesn't fit everybody. So one size does not fit all. So usually if I make a kit or I do a class, then that's included with it. One of my newer pieces called Larkspur is one that I did the same way. This I did with a cabochon, and I did the separate pieces on the side and used 2-hole beads and came up with that kind of a design. So, and again, this could be one of my Raku pieces, could be anything. So it's real interchangeable and it's adjustable. I taught this one last summer in Texas, and a lot of the ladies were a lot bigger. And so we had to extend this piece to be bigger before they even started it. And this, just to let you know, this was where my mermaid muse came from. So this is another new necklace coming out soon that I just completed, and it has a mermaid in the center. And this one was the actual, PMC that I purchased from someone else. And then I decided, well, I'm going to do a Raku piece. And again, by doing separate pieces like this, and this has got a little rope design, I can keep the scale of the piece totally adjustable so that I'm not intimidating someone that's too small or too big, or the Goldilocks syndrome. We can kind of get everybody in there for whatever size. So that's been with that, and also with bracelets, same thing has been happening where if we keep on 7 inches as a standard, sometimes people are bigger or smaller, so we have to be able to adjust. So that one bracelet kit that I talked about, that was Enchanted Gardens. See how this part of the bracelet has got a herringbone design? And this is where I've actually designed it so that it's partially a cuff and partially flat herringbone design. And again, that keeps it adjustable for all sizes. Only have, I think, a couple of the tie-dye versions left. And get a little bit better light on there.
That's a great idea. Does that have the water bottle form in there too?
Yeah, I cut the plastic out, and so I use these milk bottles, and they're smaller milk bottles, and I cut them because the Pepsi bottles or the Coke bottles have indents in them, so they don't work. It has to be a smooth plastic bottle to work right, and I cut it, and then I just use it as a portion. And then I've done this with herringbone. Some of my other designs, I've done like a 2-to-1 peyote, but it's the same concept to make it more universal in sizing.
I love the fact that you're upcycling, recycling as well.
Yes, I do too. I think it's really important. So this one is the Black Orchid one. And it also has that plastic in there. So again, you see how much of a dome you can get from that, and that's just from using a plastic core inside of it. And that shows that you can totally make your flower any way you want. So there's no rules. It's all bead embroidery techniques. And since I have this camera out, might as well just go ahead and. This one was the dragonfly, damselfly. So that's the cuff, and then this is the necklace. And those are available as kits. And this was the art to wear with the John Waterhouse images. And again, using plastic, so those shapes really do work. And that one's the Turkish Delight. I think that pretty much showcases everything, and we're pretty much right on time.
Now it's just making the hard decisions. Which ones inspired you the most?
Me?
What's your favorite? Or is it New Mermaids because they're new?
I think the New Mermaids because they're new, but I will say that I think Turkish Delight will be my classic love for a long time. It's really easy to teach. You get a lot out of the class because you really do learn to make a repertoire of different ropes. And then I think the colors are really pretty too. So they're classic and can be worn with almost anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those ropes look pretty long too, so that it's a beautiful, just layered look of.
Yeah, I mean, I think it measures 78. It's like an infinity scarf, which was kind of the concept. And I usually double it, but some people can actually triple it.
Well, especially because it's sweater season, you wear them over all these sweaters.
And then you can also fold it in half. And just like an infinity scarf, anything you can do with the scarf, you can do with the necklace. So you could loop it around and wear it like that. And like I said, if you're intrigued by something and you want to see if I have more colors, I probably do. I cannot tell you how much inventory I have. I have tons and tons. And I take quite a bit of it with me when I teach. But like I said, I do sell out on some of them too pretty quick. So the dragonflies were one of the ones I had to remake for sure.
So on the heart necklace, you were showing one Does that, if we pick out a heart, did you have you said you have instructions to figure out how to bead around
Yes.
that heart?
Yes,
Okay.
it's one of my older ones, but I can definitely dig it out. And if you buy the heart and say I'd like the instructions too, I can deal with that. So.
Okay.
And like I said, if you buy one, it would be 35 and two would be 50. And if you do a kit too, we'll throw them all in one bag and try to get the shipping to be a little bit more reasonable.
Okay, cool.
There's
Yeah.
a question about the price of the kits here versus on the website. Are they the same on your website or?
Yes, it's all consistent. Yeah, I don't have them all listed on my website. I know that someone purchased a Turkish Delight from me between last week and now. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know I had it up there. So preferably if you just contact me, email, that way I'll make sure that I get exactly what you want. That would be easier. There's more available that way because I have tons.
So
Where's-
I liked some of the hearts, but now I'm kind
Would
of
you like me to show you them again? Do we have
how
time?
much tray it
Yeah,
was, 2 or 3.
Yeah, totally.
Let me go a little slower with it this time.
I'll take pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think of it at the time to take a picture.
Yeah, I was like I said, there's just so many of them. I was like, how, I don't have enough initials. Share screen, second camera, share. Okay, so. We will call this one, I'll put a 1 on this. This will be number 1. So if I was to look, this one has a bit of an angel, another angel. This one has that lady smelling the flowers. This one has a dragon, and that's more of a matte finish. Matte finishes are really cool.
I was gonna say that is really pretty.
They seem to get so much color in them. This one's a bit of a paisley. That's a little bit of a dragonfly. That's a bit of a dragonfly. That's an angel. It's another angel. This one's just kind of like fleur-de-lis, little fleurs. More dragonfly. This one has some flowers. So that's tray number 1. Do I need to move it anyway for a picture? Okay, I can take that one away. Oh, we've got 4 of these darn things. Okay, so this is number 2. So this one has a flower. That's another paisley. Dragonfly. A frog. A paisley. Again, those really cool matte finishes. That one I think has a face on it. Can't always see the shape because I tend to use the texture as well as the shape. That's a little Asian. That one has a face. Angel. That's the face with smelling the flowers. Another flower.
So this is tray number 2.
This is tray number 2. And then we'll go for number, I see camera, go ahead. Get you another one. Some more matte ones. And every once in a while I stuck a star in there. So this one would be tray number 3. This one is number 4. And I think I mushed, yeah, I got some little tiny ones in here too. That's a cool color. That's kind of like a green and a purple.
Everyone is so different. It is just amazing.
It's
Million little works of
you
art.
can't control it. You get what you get, So that's 4 trays of hearts.
They're so cool.
I showed any of these. These were some frogs, some bulls, dragonflies. Another mask, just odds and ends that I had. These need to get the backs on them, so they just came out, but they're fun colors too. This is something I definitely need to photo better for sure. It's hard to get the color and everything else. We have lots and lots of initials. More green masks, more angels. I even had Halloween ones, but Halloween's gone. That's pretty much all enough, I think, to test the waters.
Oh, those are fun. Lots of stars and so much fun. Oh my gosh. You do amazing work.
Yay.
And so once again, everybody just email BJE and that's 3, wait a minute,
213
213. There we
at
go.
Comcast.net.
And so we will definitely, okay, that's tray number 2, second row, third over. Okay, attach the
Gotcha.
picture, taking pictures really helps.
And that way you know what you're getting, and because by the time you get the item, we want to make sure it's the right item. So yeah. And I don't want to
And
move
what
them
is-
around too much.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. The Art Nouveau necklace kit. For some reason I wrote down most of them, but I skipped that one. I don't know. I didn't write it down. What is if I look at the website, that would tell me the price.
I think she's 1 1/4. Let me pull that up real quick. Oh, basic. And PowerPoint, share. I have to talk myself through this stuff. Oh, see, good thing he asked me. Okay, so it's 95. And then you just have to let me know what kind of color tone you like. So this again is that wing dingy color. So it's kind of that aqua greeny color.
Okay.
And there's 3 different faces. The one that's as shown, which is the side view. There's a Medusa with the hair on either side. And then there's the lady smelling the flowers.
Okay, cool.
so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we've got all winter to bead. So
Well, hopefully you enjoyed my little presentation, and if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to write to me. I'm hoping to be back up in the Minnesota world next summer, and just beading and creating new projects till I get back up there.
yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll convince you to do a class next summer when you're up here or something.
Sounds perfect. Yep, sounds like a plan.
All righty. Thank you so much, Barbara. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
And everyone, we hope to see you at our next meeting on Monday night, December 5th. That's our holiday party. And if you haven't joined the group, you can join Upper Midwest Bead Society at umbs.org. And we will join a member now because it's so much fun. Oh my gosh. We'll see you next time. And so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
We stopped screening on live on Facebook. And so now let us stop recording.